Hi, I'm Mary, a librarian and book reviewer with a focus on stories written for kids, tweens, and teens. Today I get to share with you this book called Camouflage Mom, a story about staying connected by Sarah Havorka, illustrated by Elif Balta Parks. Sarah is in an interesting predicament. She is really proud of her mom, who's gone to boot camp and is now serving her country. But she also misses the mom that she knew, the one who baked cookies with her and who was always around whenever she needed someone. So now that her mom is deployed and it's just her and her brother and her dad, Sarah's feeling a little bit lost, and she feels like the link between her and her mom is just not as strong as it used to be. But as time goes by and Sarah starts to adjust to their new reality, she begins to realize that the link between her and her mom isn't gone. It just looks a little bit different. This story, based on the author's true life experience, really celebrates the fact that there are moms who go into military service and serve both their family and their country. So for families who do have a mom in the service, this is a really lovely story to share with the family, to remember the fact that the link doesn't go away when mom is gone. As you're going through the book, there is a lot of fun font. The illustrations are filled with emotion, as you can imagine, with Sarah's experience, especially as she's missing her mom and finding ways to reconnect with her from afar. And as you are watching her mom going through her own experiences, grown-ups can imagine the difficulty that comes with not only the physical requirements of serving in the military, but also the emotional requirements of being away from home. So there isn't a huge amount of text on each page, but definitely better for readers who have a little bit more of an attention span, so older preschool into kindergarten, especially again for those families who are familiar with military service and what it feels like to have a grown-up who is gone from home some of the time. Also, there is extension activities and discussion that is included at the beginning and end of the story to help guide readers through the story itself, with the conversations, with the interactions that might come up as a result of the story. And the illustrations themselves are really detailed. They embody a little bit more of that emotion, especially the distance that you see between the cadets and the family, the color differences between the fatigues and everyday wear, and you also have just a lot of movement in the text. So there's a lot to look at in every image. Readers, as they're listening to the story, are going to find a lot to examine and explore in the illustrations. Better for a home read or a lap read because of all of the detail and also the length of the book. And as you're reading it, there's a lot to talk about as far as how families manage a situation like this when you have a caregiver who's serving their country away from home. This story is really beautifully designed, especially again for those families with a caregiver in the armed forces, especially if it's a mom, and then how the family feels in their absence. If this sounds like a great fit for you or for someone you know, I hope you look for it wherever you get your books.